Hi there, Karen Flaherty from Living by Human Design. Hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be talking about the gate 31, which is the gate of influence. Okay, so the Sun in Gate 31 started late today, July 24th, and it goes until July 30th in the evening. Also, we've got the Earth in Gate 41, which is the gate of creativity and fantasy. So the Sun is So the gate 31 is interesting because it comes off the throat and it is the gate of influence. And so it's all about influential speaking. And then the gate 41 is down here coming off the right side of the root center. And that's the gate of creativity and fantasy. And basically the beginning of the entire mandala. It's where it all starts at the beginning of our human design year. And this 31 is up here coming off the bottom of the throat, and it's not connected to anything right now. The only things we have connected this week, well, right now are the 23 and 43, which go for another week or so. And then later, a little later in the week on Tuesday, we get this 31 connecting up to the 7, and so, or sorry, Venus is moving into the gate 7, which is the gate of democratic, small d, democratic leadership. And so together, this is the entire channel of the alpha. So if you or other people around you notice that they're feeling a little more like the alpha person, then this is why later in the week, because it'll go through the end of, well, until the 30th. And so this is, it's a big energy, along with the ajna being defined, the throat and the G center. It's a lot. It's a very calm energy, but it can be pretty powerful if when you put all three together. If any of these centers are not defined in your chart, then they will be defined, or at least they'll feel like they're defined for this week. So we've got this gate 31, which is called influence or leading in the original I Ching. The words are very important here. The words that we speak, the words that other people speak, are very important. So they call it the law of friction, whether active or passive, that engenders transference and thus influence. And that's why it becomes influential. When you can speak powerfully, you can influence people. You can manipulate them, you can control them, you can lead them, you can, they're all different ways of doing it, but it's depending on what your intention is the way the words will come out. But the words are powerful. In the IHGS, the incarnation crosses this week are the cross of the unexpected, influence, and the cross of the alpha. So then with the gate 41, we've got the gate of fantasy. It's also called decrease or contraction in the contractione, the original I Ching. Sorry, the typo. The limitation of resources, which maximizes development of potential. And so basically it's limiting things so that it can increase. It's that, let's kind of cut back the bushes a little bit so that they grow even more in the next harvest. In the Gene Keys, fantasy is the shadow, anticipation is the gift, and emanation is the CD. So with the Gene Key 31, we've got the shadow is arrogance, the gift is leadership, and the CD is humility. And, as Richard says in the Gene Keys book, arrogance is usually thought to be a more kind of masculine energy, more of the negative trait of influence or influential speaking. Kind of think of the arrogant politician or the arrogant leader of some sort, the arrogant boss, right? The gift is leadership, which is, kind of a balancing of the two. And the CD is humility, where you kind of raise your vibration to the point where you're not thinking in terms of the arrogance anymore. You're speaking as a leader with humility. The arrogance also can be either from anger or from fear, right? So it can be with the anger, it's pretty reactive. And with the fear, it's a little more of the false humility, right? People who say, oh, no, don't, I didn't really do anything. It's okay. It's this false humility that people see right through, right? And so the authentic leader is the one in the middle. I would say the gift is leadership, right? Where you can really be the authentic you and kind of balance the two, because even those people who are seeming as if they're humble and have humility will sometimes appear arrogant. And the funny thing is that's okay. They can be humble or have the humility and still seem arrogant, but that's okay with them because they really don't care what other people think. They're saying what they need to say in their role, whatever that expertise is, in a way that will get across to the people that it needs to get across to. And they don't care what people think about it. They're just trying to get their message out. So in the graphic, he says courage is a key quality of leadership, because it takes courage to speak, to speak out loud, and to speak with influence, right? He also says the modern world we see around us is nothing more than a mental construct created out of billions and billions of words, right? We because we are creating with our words. And so everything you see around you, because we all know that the atoms are not solid, right? They're not, it feels solid, it looks solid, but they're not solid. They're little atoms moving around, and they're truly not solid. And so everything's an illusion. What we create is from our words. So he's trying to get that across. He also says we can see how the specific release of a particular book or film at a particular time can have a vast impact on the whole planetary consciousness, right? Especially, say, for example, if something's released this week, it's going to be released with this level of influence in the, kind of in the consciousness, and people will pick up on that. He also says to be truly humble, you wouldn't mind others thinking you were arrogant, because if you're being humble and you're just, again, getting the word across, other people's perception don't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. So we got a number of personalities, in fact, quite a few born during this week in the Gate 31. Everybody from Mick Jagger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Henry Ford, Janet Reno. You can see these are people with influence, people who use their words in an influential way, people who were influential when they spoke. I'm thinking of like a Bella Abzug and Janet Reno and Amelia Earhart, Emily Bronte, people who were able to either write or speak in a way that, even as women of a certain age, they were able to get their word across and to really speak with authority and to speak with leadership. There are actually so many that I put some other people down here. But today we're going to be talking about Sandra Bullock. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about her is because she's a reflector, and we have not talked about a reflector since I've started doing these profiles. So Sandra Bullock has a birthday on July 26, 1964, so she'll be 58 years old. She was born in Arlington, Virginia. She's a reflector with a 2-4 profile, and she's the right angle cross of the unexpected, which is just kind of what it sounds like, that unexpected things happen, and basically you need to be prepared and roll with the punches, basically, with this cross. She is an award-winning actress and producer. I'm sure you've heard of her. She's done over 50 movies and produced a number of movies as well. Her production company just produced a few films, and they were generally not as popular as some of the other ones. But she's been in some real blockbusters, including Gravity and The Proposal, and a few others that you've probably seen. Crash and Speed, which was really one of her first big movies with Keanu Reeves. And so she's been around for a number of years. She's won a number of awards. She's been nominated for a lot of awards. Oscar nominated and Golden Globe nominated for a number of things. Ironically, the same year that she won her Oscar for The Blind Side, she also won an award for being the worst actress in one of the movies that she actually produced. So she is somebody who does roll with the punches, because really, who would have expected that? And in that same year, 2009, which I'm guessing now that I think about it, would have been right around the time of her Chiron return. she was adopting a child and was publicly humiliated, basically, by her husband, first husband, only husband, Jesse James, and got divorced as a result. So that was an interesting year for her. And again, there were quite a few unexpected things that happened. She was expecting to adopt the child with her husband, and that didn't work out. So she adopted as a single mother, and then she adopted a second child. So, as a reflector, as you probably know, they're only 1% of the population. They are have every single center on their chart open, and so there are no channels that are themes for her life. So what I look to more would be the right angle cross of the unexpected, and then the profile, which is the 2-4. 2 is the hermit, somebody who likes to be on their own and by themselves, and the 4 is more of the outgoing part. So just think she's home with her children, and a new partner, and living her life and being quiet and really not even not she doesn't live in Hollywood. For most of her career, she's lived in Texas, and as she has said, to be away from the crowds. And so she's not one to you know revel in the Hollywood parties and the Hollywood social life and all that. She prefers her privacy. But when she does go out, she can be, she can dress up like the best of them and have a good time. And that's what the 4 is all about. It's the opportunist. Excuse me, I'm getting over a bit of a cold. I'll just mention in her Chiron return is the 22, which is the gate of charm and grace. So, while she's open emotionally, she has been able to be charming and graceful, and has learned to be charming and graceful through all the ups and downs of her career. She has the gate of the queen. She has the gate of someone who's here to make a contribution. She's also got the gate of 2 of the love gates, the love of humanity and the love of the self. So she's very empowering to other people, but she also has this great love for humanity, which has allowed her to be a philanthropist, and work in a number of community projects, including she's been a big donor for the Red Cross, with a number of for the tsunami in 2004 in Malaysia, for Katrina, for Haiti, for the earthquake, for quite a number of causes. She's donated millions of dollars. She also has the gate 29, which is about commitment, the gate 27, responsibility, and that's the only defense gate she has. But as a mother, obviously she's feeling very responsible and nurturing, and probably enjoying the cooking and education and everything that goes with that. She does have the 41, which is part of this week's, sun and earth. So she has the gate of fantasy. She can come up with new ideas probably for her films, and be a contributor as well as the actress. 55 is all about coming to an understanding of spiritual abundance. 49 is about principles, and so no surprise that as soon as she found out that her husband was cheating on her, she was out of there. She also has the gate 12, which is all about protection of one's reputation, caution around one's reputation, and she has been that, and protecting her reputation throughout. She's got the 23, which is all about assimilation. That gate of influence is there, the 31. So when she does speak, she's heard. The gate 45 is the gate of the queen. So she's respected and, seen as someone who to be listened to, and someone who will also take care of the people around her. She's always described as someone who's very nurturing and beneficent, let's say, on set. And with that gate 12, she does keep she's wary of her reputation. 24 is rationalization. 64 is the gate of confusion, or the gate of abstract thinking, or the channel of abstraction here. So she probably gets ideas at different times of the day or night with regard to her work. And I just noticed the 15 and the 10 are both conscious and unconscious for her because they're in her nodes. Here, the 15 and the 10. And so those are pretty important for her. But, none of these gates are any more important than others. She is somebody who is taking in the energy of everyone around her. When there's a lot of people on the set, when she's doing a film, she's going to take in a lot of energy, and she needs her quiet time. She needs her downtime. She needs that hermit time, definitely. And one thing that I thought was very interesting as I was looking at the information about her was that one of the roles that she was got the most accolades for was Gravity. And if whether you've seen the movie or not, it's about her in space as an astronaut who basically is left by herself. She basically carried that entire film. I think they said it was something like 3/4 of the film by herself in that, um, bubble, if you will. And she was by herself. And I'll just say that as a reflector, that's the best she can ever hope for, right? Is to be by herself in her own energy with nobody probably around her for at least, 6 to 10 feet, maybe even more. And she shone in that role, is the way everybody described it. She mastered it. She had a great control. She was able to use her emotions, her intelligence, her wits to create a role that really captured everyone's imagination. And she was by herself. I mean, it's like a one-woman show, right? But as a reflector, she's totally capable of that. She can certainly shine at as the talented actress she is. But she didn't need anybody around her to do that. She could probably hear them in her ear, but she wasn't physically with them. And so she was able to do the role in a way that she wasn't really able to do any other roles. That was very, unique in the way that was portrayed, and gave her an avenue, a format to really work her magic. So it's actually a great metaphor for reflectors, because if they can be in their own energy and knowing what their energy is and feeling how it feels to be in their own energy, that's the best that they can hope for. They need that alone time. They need that time to be private by themselves and kind of basking in their own energy, so that they know what it's like to feel that energy and to embrace it. So happy birthday, Sandra, and I hope you all have a great week. Use your voice for influence. I will use mine to rest a little bit more from this cold that I've got, but hope you're all doing well, and enjoy the week. Take care.